it's welcome there after the show. But we also have 50th anniversary cookbooks that have been produced as a fundraiser for the band. If you're interested in seeing what some of our composers are cooking and some of the band members, those are available. You can take a look at those after the show. But with all that said, we're here to make some music and especially to hear your singing this afternoon. We will have lyrics on the screen when it's time to sing. If you have grandchildren with you or children, please let them know that there's adults who sing at places other than karaoke bars and maybe kind of at an elevated level here. But sing right out with us if you would. And with that, we're going to tune and get our show started. Okay.
Paradise to earth he came, that we with him might dwell. Venite adoremus, venite adoremus, venite adoremus, adoremus Domine, venite, venite, venite adoremus.
As I mentioned earlier, we are blessed to have gifts from talented arrangers and composers who send us things to enrich our community in this gathering. Our next selection is one, just such work, based on a traditional Christmas carol from Germany. It's known in German, I hesitate to do this to German, Es ist ein Ros Esprügen. The hymn dates back to the late 16th century and was later harmonized by the German composer Michael Pretorius in 1609. So it's a relatively new hit. The lyrics speak of the prophecy of Isaiah and the birth of Jesus, symbolized by a rose blooming in the cold of winter. This is a wonderful arrangement by Craig Naylor, a friend of ours in Montana, a blessing to us here in Salem. Well, I mentioned we had friends in various places that offer us sweet things to share. And the next is a lullaby, which, as we're thinking about the reason for the season, seems like honoring a child is especially important. I first heard this tune sung by a wonderful choir in Italy, and the arranger gave us permission to share it with you. This is Dorme, Dorme, oh, our little child, essentially. Sleep, sleep, our little child. So now you can tell your neighbors you found out that having 52 books come by to put a kid to sleep is really the magical option that everyone should consider. Well, with that, now the kid's asleep, we can bring Jeff back and let him sing one for his mom. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
O holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. The thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yon was born. O night divine, O night, O night divine. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, let all within us praise his holy name. Christ is the Lord. Let ever praise we. Noel, Noel, O night divine. Noel, Noel, O night divine. Noel, Noel, O night divine.
Well, we're going to pep it up just a bit now. And the next work is a traditional English Christmas carol that dates back a while. The carol is loosely based on the call of the London Waits, who were musicians and watchmen patrolling the streets at night, marking the hours with their instruments, or so they claimed anyway. So this is past 3 o'clock from our dear friend in the Trail Band, and similar to one of their tunes on their CDs. I hope you'll enjoy it. Well, we have all ages of people who decide to play the euphonium, or baritone horns, or tubas. We have several younger people on stage with us. Could I see all those hands of people who are under 50? Just wait until they grow up. That's going to be great. We also have some very much younger, they're kids or grandkids in some cases. How many of you are grandchildren? All right. Do we have any great-grandchildren on stage? That's what they say about you, right? Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to put that all together with an homage to those closer to my age. And we really do respect seniors in this group, and we hope you'll understand that through our next homage. Here we go. I did ask them to channel their grandmothers with those two statements that were made in the tune. Makes you wonder, but I hope your grandmother's doing well. All right, let's go ahead now. I think it's time for you to sing again. So join us as robustly as what you just heard, please. Well, I think it's time to get some more help from the angels. Let's keep going with this.
All right.
Well, we started our show today with a Gloucester wassail, and we're going to do some more wassailing now. We'll play this once, and then we'd like you to wassail with us for 2 verses. Here we go. All right, well, it's time for us to share with you one of the top hits of 1741. And, usually you have a verse and then a chorus. Well, in this case, we're mainly doing the chorus. I guess that's just what he wrote. This is from George Friedrich Handel, and this is the Hallelujah chorus from the Messiah. Well, this time of year is one time that many times we reflect on those things that are important to us. And I have to say to you that This gathering that we have has always been special to me from the years that John Richards was here for Tuba Christmas and as we entered the Tuba Holiday years. It's been a time when we see families from the grandparents to the grandchildren and even great-grandchildren coming, and the kids looking up and wondering what the heck those adults are doing here. But getting a sense of tradition and getting a sense of family. And that's something that's very special. Each year at this time, just before the holidays, they have an international band and orchestra clinic in Chicago. I've attended that 20 or 30 times now, and I've made friends with folks all around the world, and to see them and come together and see what they've been doing, what they've been writing, and what's happening in their families is a joyful time. To meet young, new composers. It's not always been joyful for one person, however, in that my wife and I co-coordinate this event. And when I leave her here in Salem for all the phone calls and all the administration, I'm very much aware of what price she pays to make this happen. I just want to take a moment to thank my wife, Toni Skelton, for all the work she did to make this event come together. 2 years ago, Christmas was a little bit closer to the weekend of the convention, and so was the ice storm in Chicago. And some of the airlines hadn't figured some things out. We had folks who were stranded there for several days. And that's only happened to us maybe 3 or 4 times. But this year, I got to call her and say, it's beautiful weather, the plane's on the taxiway ready to take off. And the pilot said, we have a small problem. One of the engines doesn't work, and we need a new part. We're not sure when we can get that part, and so they pulled us back to the entry point, and they said, we're going to ask all the other airlines if they have that part. Once we get it, it'll only take about 10 minutes to put it in, and then we think we can get you home. And about 4 hours later, they had the part. There were a few grumpy people on the plane and a lot of anxiety. A few of the folks had hot meals prepared for them, which we were told then, well, those had to go away for safety reasons. So we do have some snack kits, and we were thrilled. And they mentioned what was in one of the snack kits, and they mentioned almond roca. And I thought about that. It took me back to my father. My father, before he met my mother, was an officer in the Salvation Army serving Washington and Idaho. They got married at the temple here in Salem, the Salvation Army church there. He played tuba and euphonium in the bands in Seattle and such. I pestered him to teach me to play after listening to my 4 older brothers in performances. He said, you're too small, go away, kid, So by the time I got to the 5th grade, he said, okay, you're big enough now. And we got out the family baritone out of the closet, and he taught me to play before the schools were ready to do that. That gift he gave me is something that has meant so much to me over the years, to have the richness of having friends who share music and who all around the world celebrate music. When I was in Chicago, I stopped by the Chinese booth and asked them, so they said, you should bring your band to China. I said, well, so with your government and such, are Americans welcome there? They said, oh, don't pay any attention to that. We love Americans, and you would be very welcome. We love people who make music. We'd love to hear you share your music, and we'd love to share ours with you. It was a pretty special message. And to have something that you can go anywhere and find something in common with people is a blessing to have in your life. Both of my parents were music lovers, and to see those traditions continue. I have one granddaughter on stage playing my euphonium today. Should I ask her to stand? Yes, all right. Yeah. Thank you, Tim. I have another granddaughter in the audience who's a young oboe player, and her niece, my great-grandchild, is just starting on flute, and we're looking forward to great things in the future from them. You know, I told the stewardess that thinking about the blessings and how they were getting us home safe to be with our families and our community was so much appreciated. And I also mentioned that my father, when he was, before the family came along, actually when my brothers were young, he was working as a carpenter for the Brown and Haley chocolate factory in Tacoma. And he would bring home mountain bars. At that time, they were known as Tacoma mountain bars, and almond roca to share with the family at the end of his workday. And I thought about that. What is almond roca wrapped in? Gold foil. And it seemed so fitting because our next song celebrates the season with silver and gold. This is Jeff Witt again. Please, Jeff.
Silver and gold, silver and gold. Everyone wishes for silver and gold. How do you measure its worth? Just by the pleasure it gives here on earth. Silver and gold, silver and gold mean so much more when I see silver and gold decorations on every Christmas tree. Silver and gold, silver and gold. Wise men brought gifts to the manger, I'm told. Mary was humble to see. Shepherds and kings there on bended knees. It's silver and gold, silver and gold, filling the world with their lives. Silver and gold, how they shimmer on every Christmas night. Oh, there we go. Sorry. No, no, no. Thank you, Jeff.
I'm not sure who wrote that arrangement, but thank you, Jeff. I did write another phrase for him to finish that, but I was kind of caught up in his singing. It's very nice. Thank you, Jeff. All right. Well, our next tune is another gift to us this year, and This is one, there's a beautiful story on the Christmas recordings from the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, where they have someone telling the story about this song. And I'll give you an abbreviated version of it here today, but the hymn, When Peace Like a River, also known as It Is Well With My Soul, was written by Horatio Spafford and composed by Philip Bliss. The story was that Horatio Spafford, a successful attorney, faced immense personal tragedy. In 1871, the Great Chicago Fire ruined him financially. 2 years later, while his family was traveling to Europe, actually, they had planned to go together to spend Christmas in Paris. And he had business commitments, so he sent his wife and children off first. The ship they were in struck another ship and went down. All of his children perished. His wife survived and contacted her husband, who came to meet her, and they moved on. He penned the words to this song shortly thereafter. The hymn reflects a profound sense of peace and trust despite life's challenges. It's a beautiful testament to finding solace in faith during times of sorrow, and also an opportunity to reflect about those dear to us who are no longer with us. Another gift from Greg Pelton. Thank you, Greg. Next, we'll share an arrangement of Silent Night that is quite different. I think you'll be able to trace where the melody is because this is a very responsive group we have on stage, and it actually pays attention in the extensive rehearsal we had for an hour or so. So we will be asking you to join in singing after the first verse, or after the first time through. have to say, you all should come up here and do this, you know. When you have 1,000+ people here singing Radiant Beams, and I'm seeing these lights up from the heavens in the auditorium just beaming down on us all. It's kind of a cool experience. Thank you. Very nice singing, by the way. All right. Well, it's time to wake the people up next to you, and we're going to sing something a little peppier now. Here we go. Well, this is one that I was told we couldn't avoid. So we hope you'll enjoy it while I terrorize the players on stage. Here we go. You know, if you keep that up, we'll probably have to do that again next year. I don't know, but thank you. Yeah. All right. Speaking of keeping things up, let's bring back Jeff. All right.
Up on the housetop, reindeer paws, out jumps good old Santa Claus, down through the chimney with lots of toys, all for the little ones' Christmas joys. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Up on the housetop, click, 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 down through the chimney with good Saint Nick. First comes the stocking with little Nell. Oh, dear Santa, fill it well. Give her a dolly that laughs and cries, one that can open and shut its eyes. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Up on the housetop, click, 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 down through the chimney with good Saint Nick. Look in the stocking of little Bill, oh, just see what a glorious fill. Here is a hammer and lots of tacks, whistle and a ball and a whip that cracks. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Up on the housetop, click, 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 down through the chimney with good Saint Nick.
Yes. All right. I thought I'd perhaps make sure you were aware that you're supposed to sing both verses on this one. So join us right off the bat. We'll play an introduction just so you can hear the key signature. And then you can join right in. Here we go. All right, well, as you know, not only Christmas, but the New Year's is fast approaching. And through all those times, we have times to gather with our families and friends, to enjoy our company with others, and to think of those who may be somewhere else on the planet that we can't have with us. I have two grandsons who are respectively in the Coast Guard and in the Navy. And when they're off on deployment, yes, we certainly are thinking of them. We're blessed to have them with us this holiday season on leave. And that's especially valued when they've been, in some cases, off in the war zones and representing our country. And I did hear from military bands while I was in Chicago. In fact, the only band in the United States Coast Guard was there performing for us. And they are each of the special bands of the military services. And all of the local post bands, National Guard bands, Air National Guard bands are phenomenal groups all around the country and all around the world. The Coast Guard Band will be making a tour of the West Coast in February. And they asked us to let people know and to have the auditoriums filled. You won't be disappointed if you get to go and hear their performance, I assure you. So check it out, go to their website, just put Coast Guard Band in the search engine and you can find it real easily. Look up their tour and join those of us who will be there celebrating great music with the people in the military that are doing so much for us. Whether you have people off on duty somewhere or a family member far afield or those who have passed on and can't be with us for those reasons, this next tune is one that allows us to raise a toast to them and remember the best of our lives together. Please join in. We'll play one time through and then we'd love to have you join us on the song. It has been our true joy to have you all with us, to have you singing so beautifully for us and with us. And we wish you all wonderful holidays, whether it's Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, New Year's. We could go on, I'm sure, for a while, but whatever brings your family together, whatever traditions you celebrate, we hope they are joyous and that you savor your time together as we savor our time with you today, which will be repeated about 11 times on Capital Community Media. I'll get there. All right. They do such wonderful work, all volunteers who are serving our community, capturing things to share with those who may not be able to come to an auditorium for a live performance. So thank you, CC Media, for being with us today. I want to thank Steve Phillips, who has been running the super titles for the vocals today and did a stellar job. Thank you, Steve. Thanks to all of the Elsinore staff who have been here to support the performance, to the volunteers from Salem Symphonic Winds, and our friends who are here as volunteers to support this event. They're all treasured. Thank you. We'll run credits after their show, which avoids my having to try to remember all those names, but they're no less valued. And I do want to invite you to performances. We have 3 more performances with Salem Symphonic Winds to finish their 50th anniversary season. Again, there's cookbooks in the lobby if you want to check those out. There's a few pretty good recipes. One of the composers from the Netherlands told me they toned down their recipe a little bit because they weren't sure how hot you would like your curry. So you can always add a little bit more heat to it if you want to taste it like his family does. But I'm looking forward to trying those recipes myself. And thank you again for being with us. We've got one more tune to celebrate the season. And thank you again for joining us today.